Just describing effectively what you managed to do and to get over your crisis. You effectively split, not between good banks and bad banks, did you? You split the priorities between domestic deposits and foreign deposits?
Well, we called it old banks and new banks, but effectively we took emergency measures to make sure that the domestic banking system could continue to function. And there's an important difference between the situation in Cyprus now is that our banks actually never closed. And all the time credit cards were working and ATM machines were working and so on and so forth. What we did, which was also very important, is that we refused to guarantee the external indebtedness of the private banks that were going bust. And another important difference, if I can continue, is that ours was a commercial banking crisis. And now in these financial crises coming, in different shapes and sizes, no two are the same, but ours was not a sovereign debt crisis. Our sovereign was almost debt-free, and that's a big difference, and was very important to us when all this happened.
There were some similar parallels with where you were at one point and where Cyprus is now, though, in that sort of crisis situation, wasn't there? And one of the advantages you had is that you weren't tied to the euro, so you didn't have those European restrictions placed upon you. And that is what's largely working against Cyprus right now, isn't it?
Well, it seems certainly that it's not helping them. We had our own currency and still have, and the flexibility, therefore, to adjust the value of the currency, to reinforce and help our export industries. And that turned out to be very important in the macroeconomic picture as we were working our way out of the crisis. Now, within the euro system, that's completely different, of course.
Yeah, but in the end, your exchange rate sort of took a lot of the pressure off you. The exchange rate obviously fell, and that's allowed you to recover.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why we've come through this relatively easily, I should say, and our export industries have been doing well. I don't mean easily without sacrifices, but easily in a macroeconomic sense that we have been on a road to recovery since 2009, although I think we could probably have done even better.
And therein lies a possible ray of hope or a lesson for Cyprus, because if it looks like, well, a lot of banking analysts and economists are saying that the economy is going to pretty much collapse anyway, whatever happens, then there probably will be a run on the banks, even if they manage to get through this process. So surely the best option for them would be to leave the euro, and they could possibly benefit even more from a low exchange rate because they've got this huge tourism industry, which you didn't have.
Well, we've had a big tourism industry which has been blooming since our crisis. Doing better than any time earlier.
Yeah, because you got this low exchange rate. That was the great advantage, wasn't it?
That was definitely an advantage. But you're asking me a question about the Cyprus membership in the euro system, and that's a question I really cannot give you an answer to, and I wouldn't even dare propose to know the answer to that difficult political question.
What, from your experience, could you offer in terms of advice to those in Cyprus over this weekend when they're heading towards what looks like economic calamity on Monday if they don't get a decision on the table?
Well, it's very hard to give advice from where I'm sitting. I can only show or point at our example is that we were able to manage and move our way through the crisis, and actually we let the banks go bankrupt. And they have been in orderly bankruptcy procedures to this very day, and that has been an orderly process. Obviously, creditors lost a lot of money on the way how this was done, and a lot of other people also internally lost savings and bondholders and so on. Shareholders in the banks lost what they had. But still, it was a formula in our case that worked. And I don't have a quick fix for the Cyprus situation. And my old friend, President Anastasiadis, I know he is in a very difficult situation right now.
Okay, Hade, thank you very much indeed for joining us.